In front of you there are 4 AIM surplus Polish steel AK-47 magazines, or AKM magazines to the purists, but apologize for the camera. This is the only way I can get good detailed shots of these magazines. They are surplus, they are Polish, they are steel, and they have been refinished, allegedly by Radom in Poland. I originally bought 5 from AIM Surplus for, I believe they were $10.90 each. Don't quote me on that. They were somewhere around that. Can't remember. It's been a few days. I have 5. I'll show you the picture of the other one here in a minute. I was just going to kind of give you some detailed shots of it, of the mags. But the finish looks good from a distance, but once you get close, you can tell it's really thick. And it's kind of, I don't know, it feels good, it looks good, but it's really thick. But I've also, 3 out of the magazines I got, 3 out of the 5 actually had dents in them. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm going to kind of use the light to help show the dents. Okay, now this one I had to kind of push the follower past this dent right here. I know you can see it. I had to push the follower past it, so it was deep enough to affect follower travel. They painted over some rust spots you can see up there around that upper tab. Okay. Come on, focus. Hey, there we go. Okay, so there was one of the dented ones. This one right here. This is the one I'm probably going to have to send back because of that dent right there. And I'll show you it here in a minute. I'll show you why. But as you can see, I mean, they look pretty good. But the problem is they're not... That paint is very thick, and they did not disassemble these magazines before they painted them. So, a lot of them, well, I think there's 3 of them out of the batch that their floor plate, their disassembly notch right here in the floor plate is glued in by that paint. So, my 5th one, I'll show you here in a minute. I had to take a punch. I mean, it's in there. I had to take a punch and a hammer and a tap with the hammer, and it broke it free. See, there's more dents. But when I kind of pushed the follower in, these didn't really affect the follower travel very much. So let's see. Okay, so I did contact AIM Surplus customer service over these. They told me, hey, if you have a problem, send them back. If we verify that it is an issue, we will replace it, or exchange it, or refund your money, and we will reimburse you for your shipping. And that's great. That's why I like to do business with AIM Surplus. I've done quite a bit over the years. Now, this is the mag with the big dent in it, and I'll show you what it's doing. I'll show you why. I mean, because you push the follower down. They painted the top of the followers, but then they didn't. You can see where the paint just kind of goes inside, and then that's it, and then it stops. So what I did is I took this 5th one and I stripped it. I stripped it with a chemical stripper, with a paint stripper. Took about 3 coats to do it because it was some of the paint was a little more stubborn in areas like in the corners and stuff. And then I repainted it with this. This is Brownell's Alumahide. It's a no-bake finish, epoxy finish. So I got it when I was out of town doing some gun shop hopping. Cody. So here is the mag, and I was trying to do a second coat and I wasn't paying attention, and I got a little heavy because believe it or not, the nozzle that's on that spray can is not the greatest. It was actually spraying all over the place, but you know. But I didn't do the base. I didn't do the base plate. I didn't figure it mattered. It's going to get dirty and marred up anyway. And I stayed light off of up here at the feed lips, because that's what these mags, they painted all the way up to the feed lips and everything. And I've read some forum stuff where they talk about they've had to file the paint off of the feed lips. So I stayed away from that as much as I possibly could. I only did one coat up here because these mags were rubbing in a lot of my mag wells. So I laid one coat of the Alumahide up here, and then I two coated down here on the body. But I like this much better because after the stripping and the painting, and before I painted it, I went ahead and I fitted this notch. This is your mag lug, you know, it locks into the magazine release. The rear lug, I guess they call it. But I already filed. I did about 20 minutes worth of filing and fitting to get it to work in my rifle. None of the 5 magazines would lock into any of my AK rifles. Well, 3 of the 4 AKs, they would not lock into them. So be advised that they will probably need to be fitted. But you know, I guess that's part of it. But the paint is thick, and on a lot of them, you can see. Let me see if I can do this here. This is going to be crazy. Come on. Nope. Anyway, I hope you can see. Maybe not. You can barely see right there where it looks like it's kind of chipping the paint, moving the paint a little bit on the edge of that rear lug. That's where the magazine release catch is trying to go, but the paint, looks like the paint is kind of stopping it. So just be advised, the paint is really thick. It's kind of shoddy. They shot the paint on them. Like I said, 3 of the ones I had dents in the mag body. 2 of them actually affected follower travel. 1 of them, I'm going to have to send it back most definitely. But just putting this out in case you're looking at them, because I know they've got a bunch of them. They got a bunch of them back in stock. And I was just going to let you know, they will more than likely require some TLC. Just figured I'd put that out there. But I'm going to be sending one back. A buddy of mine is going to be sandblasting the other 3 that I'm keeping. Not this one. Keeping these 3 right here. He's going to be sandblasting those for me and stripping the paint off of them so I can repaint them with Alumahide. One thing about the Alumahide is when it smells like a stink bug. So if you're down here in the southeast, we've got the stink bug infestation. And for the longest time, I thought another stink bug had snuck in, but it's actually it was actually this magazine. It's still kind of curing. It's dry to the touch, but you can tell it's still a little, you know, it might need another couple hours, but yeah, I'm really happy how this turned out. I'm not too proud of that. Of course, I'm not a spray paint or a painter guy, but yeah, I'm gonna try a little harder next time. Maybe clean up that nozzle, open it up a bit. Anyway, if you're interested in knowing what is underneath these magazines, underneath this refinish job, I'm going to cue the photos. So yeah, it's just, you know, you can tell they look like they sandblasted them, or maybe they put them in a tumbler. This is the magazine I was talking about with the dent in it. You can see right there. See, there's the follower, and I'm going to push it in. Try to. Okay, pulling that out, and there's no follower. It's stuck. So, like I said, this one's probably going to go back if I can't iron it out myself. But watch this. I'm going to squeeze on it a little bit. Oh, there it is.